Sup, sisters? This is Rachel and Rebecca checking in. So I quit my job last week. Wait, I thought we ghosted him. I'm starving. Wait, what are you wearing? Age is just a number. No, we can do anything.
I have something crazy to say, is that I am going to make your husband sign a prenup before you get married.
Tell me about this prenup.
Because the book I am reading, you guys, what's it called again? Strangers. It is crazy. And like, there's so many pieces of the book, and I won't get into the book because people who don't care about the book you're reading, it's so boring to explain a book to them. True. But it's basically the story of a woman's divorce. She's a Vanderbilt. It's a messy divorce, yada, yada, yada. He just like up and leaves her one day. And it all kind of hinges around this prenup that is coming into the picture at the end. And so I decided that I will be making your husband sign a prenup for the podcast.
And in reverse, I'm going to be making Davis sign a prenup. I don't know if he would.
Sure. I don't think he really cares. Here's my thing about you mean a post-nup?
Yes, a post-nup, sorry.
Because, I mean...
Whatever, same thing. Same concept.
Here's my thing. I actually don't really know how prenups or divorces work when it comes to ownership of things. Yeah. But the only thing in the prenup that I'm making your husband sign is that he will never get any shares or ownership of Brutally Honest.
Is that like... Yeah. Do people actually... I guess it does happen.
No, because I think crazy. A lot of ex-wives will get shares of companies. And I don't know if that's like a concession in the divorce because they didn't want to give them cash, and so they gave them shares of their company instead. So that's why I don't really know how it works, but I do want it to be clear that he cannot take any ownership of the company, because it was like how Jesse was talking about he's going to come after the business. And I signed up to work with you, not a man. A man is not owning any percentages.
If you were 25 and like your husband wanted you to sign a prenup, would you have?
Oh, like if I'm old, because I'm older.
Yeah, or like, I'm just saying like if you were single right now.
Yeah, and he wanted me. It depends on what I'm signing the prenup for, I think. Yeah. Like if he has, for example... He's a Vanderbilt, like this chick is.
I know. Well, there's like Marriott's around here.
Exactly. And so...
and all of their kids had to sign prenups.
Yes.
Which I totally get.
Yeah, and that I'm like, okay, if it's like coming from family, like we have generational wealth and we make everyone sign prenups to protect their generational trusts, that doesn't really bother me. Fine. I'm like, yeah, that's just kind of like how they do it. Yeah. And that makes sense to me. I think, so I think it just depends on what the prenup is. Like,
that's fair.
If they have,
you do need to look at the fine details.
You need to look at the fine details.
Turns out the fine print.
That's what gets you.
It's what makes or breaks you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yikes. The fine print of the divorce is what got them. Yikes. He made some changes to the prenup that, like, she shouldn't have made, and so it kind of bit her in the end. But it came back. Anyways, so what I was going to say is, to be clear, we have not made a single cent from this podcast. I feel like I need to make it clear for everyone. This is not like a big... but it will be. Venture. But exactly, you need to protect from day one. I think you need
to assume the clothes.
That's what I'm saying.
I think we need to stop saying that.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm saying it for people. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that I'm making people sign a prenup for something that's pre-revenue.
Oh, no.
That's what makes me giggle. That makes sense. But by me signing the prenup, it's because I think the podcast is going to be so successful that they need to be signing something.
And I think he would gladly sign any prenup.
Oh, absolutely.
Whoever my mystery husband will be.
I know, I think he would too.
I think he would.
Particularly if it comes from someone else, like me going.
I feel like if it comes from you especially, it's like, listen, she's just protecting herself.
Yeah, I'm not protecting her, I'm protecting me from you.
Literally.
I'm like, we're not. Because whatever happens with the proceeds from the podcast, that's up to you. You can split the cash flow. However, it's really ownership that I have an issue with.
Well, I think we should include that in the prenup.
Oh, that's up to you. But again, like if you're splitting things 50-50, that's different. How you decide proceeds, for me, I'm big on just ownership. The ownership is what I care about.
I think we can do that.
So anyways, I just wanted to put that out there for people. But prenups are like so interesting.
They're very interesting.
Like what would you say to signing a prenup?
No, I think initially when I was younger, I was like, oh my gosh, they don't believe in love.
Yeah.
I think that was my initial response. But then as I've gotten older, it's like, oh, for sure I'd sign a prenup.
Yeah.
Like, well, especially if like he's wealthy, and obviously like I still want some protection clauses.
For sure.
Like I know actually an older guy who's probably in his 50s and just got remarried, and his wife is such a gold digger. Like literally, she married him. He's not like the cutest guy ever, and like doesn't keep up with his physical fitness. But she married him, has kids. They don't even live in the same house. They live 20 minutes away. One's in Provo, one's in American Fork. Literally 20 minutes away, because her kids wanted to stay at the same high school, but like they basically like have a non-existent marriage kind of thing. But he's like the sweetest guy, and he just wants to be loved anyways. But like, she's guaranteed, I think, like $15 million from the prenup if they get divorced.
No way. Yeah, you can protect. You can protect like, both sides.
Literally, like that marriage is gonna last another maybe 2 years, I think.
No way. Oh. That's no, but yeah, like they can be mutually beneficial.
Totally. So if I had to sign a prenup, I think actually that would be a positive thing, because hopefully I'm married into like the Vanderbilt-esque empire, and I just need a good lawyer.
Yeah, you just got a lawyer out.
I need to make sure there are some like little clauses, exit clauses for me.
Yeah,
and they're not them for the other way around.
Yeah, some little,
because divorces are messy no matter what.
No matter what. Honestly,
there's like amicable. Thank you. Amicable divorces like don't really exist.
No, not fully.
Not truly. There's still feelings involved.
Always.
Regardless.
I feel like there's usually one side that it's amicable for, and the other side that's heartbroken, that is just trying to be a good person, now forced on this journey, and they're just trying to rise above.
Yes.
So it's amicable. Anyways, the book is fascinating. If you've read it, please reach out and then let's chat about it, because I need someone to talk to. But I've been thinking a lot recently about, last week I talked about this, the Stephen Bartlett Hot, Smart, and Rich episode that I will not stop talking or thinking about or telling people to listen to. And we've also talked briefly on the podcast about commitment and how committing is hard. And I was thinking to myself that commitment is just decision making. Like committing to something is just deciding about whatever, insert thing here. And so I was just thinking about how decision making really is a skill, and all like life is just making decisions. It's so crazy when you realize that the only thing I actually have control over in my life are the decisions that I make. I don't have control of anything else. I have control over no one else's decisions. I don't have control over outcomes. I only have control over decisions. And so I think that's a powerful feeling. And I think it's so interesting because that's the only thing you have power over. And yet that seems to be such a hard thing and thing that people grapple with. And I've grappled with, like, why is making big decisions so hard? And it seems that some people have an easier time making decisions.
Yes.
Like there are people who it's easier for, less easy for. And it's almost like you have to learn how to make decisions. I don't know. Have you felt that way?
Yeah. Well, I think as I've gotten older, I've realized how bad I am at making decisions.
Okay, but tell me, when you say bad at making decisions, what does that actually mean?
It means that it takes me like a really long time to feel like I'm fully committed to something.
Okay.
And if I don't have like clarity, it's just like I just end up not making a decision. I feel like I'm pushing it further down the road. Because
it's interesting, because I feel like there are two ways, like being bad at decisions, there are two ways where it's like I tend to make wrong decisions.
Yeah, not or that one
generally. I have a hard time actually making the decision. Really, you think you tend to make bad decisions?
I don't know if I tend to make bad decisions. I think I've made decisions that like haven't turned out the way that I wanted to necessarily. And so that I think like informs like, I don't know, maybe I am a bad decision maker.
Like your perception of how you are.
Yes, exactly. But I think also I just don't like to like commit to things in general.
So do you feel that in your past you have made things that you would classify as bad decisions now?
But no, bad is not like the right word.
Or decisions that you feel like didn't go the way you wanted them to.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and because of that, it like sows doubt in you. Like I've made decisions that I thought would turn out one way, turned out a different way. Totally. Maybe not blew up in your face, but maybe blew up in your face.
Totally.
Tell me more about
I think like, okay, decisions. For example, like I think like choosing a career, for example, like okay, my background's in finance. That's something that like I thought I would like and like excel at, and like could I excel at it? Yeah, like for sure. Do I like it? No. Was it something that like I liked enough that like that I wanted to stay and progress in? Like no. At the end of the day, I was just like, I need to leave. Yeah, I don't want to be here. So like was it like a bad decision? No. But did it turn out how I thought it was going to or expected to? No.
Okay. So when you decided to do investment banking or finance, though, interesting. So you expected yourself to really like it and to thrive in that environment.
Yeah, for sure. I think you expect,
And then you're not thriving. And tell me, like, there's a mental process that leads you to feel like you've let yourself down. Because it's not like, oh, I don't like this job and like, let me move on. Like, clearly there's some underlying feelings that you have that lead you to think
Well, I think it's expectation versus reality, right?
Yeah.
So like when I'm in college and I decided to make that decision, like fast forward to my life now is like, do I expect to be anywhere near like I am? No, I expected like something totally different.
Yeah.
And so when like my expectation is like completely separate from what I thought a reality was.
Yeah.
And like honestly, sometimes like I think it's a happy thought when it's just like reality ends up being better than what my expectations are. But like I have pretty high expectations. So I wouldn't say my reality is always better than what like my situations that I expected. Yeah. Now is that to say like, am I like, do I have to go through certain things to become like the person that I want to become? Yeah. Like, do I think the end goal is all about like becoming in certain terms of like personal growth? Like, yeah. And so like situations don't necessarily define success, but I think back in the day, like I would have said that situations define success.
Okay. So basically your whole thing, to say your whole thing, but it sounds like it's life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Yeah. It's like the classic, like, hey, like life didn't turn out the way that I thought or wanted it to.
Yeah.
And so do you think that is what sows doubt in your decision making?
Yes.
That's like the primary thing.
I think that's what sows doubt, because if you think about it, like what decisions are basically like, I'm trying to decide something that's going to foretell something that happens in the future. Yeah. So basically it's like we're playing a game of poker. And so it's like, well, if I have bet on the wrong cards the last 5 times, like it's harder for me the 6th time to be like, I'm going all in with my chips.
Yeah, but what's so fascinating to me in this discussion is determining what are wrong and right cards.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that like, because with, for example, the finance thing, there seems to be also like a death of persona of who you thought you were.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting that like when you have such strong expectations to like something and then it's like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. It wasn't like, oh, let me pick up and move on. It becomes like it sows an existential crisis.
Yeah, totally.
And so I think that that's interesting where some people, and I'm including myself in this as not unlike some people, but people who are like, wait, like you take so much stock in your decision making.
Yeah.
But it seems that some people I know, like they'll make a decision and if it doesn't turn out, they're unflappable. They're unfazed by it. They're like, oh, this didn't turn out. Let me move on and go to the next thing. Whereas they don't take it so hard.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, okay, like you could listen to it from an outside perspective and say, okay, you didn't like your job. Like, why didn't you just move on and do a different, pivot, do something else. And it's so fascinating that does create like a lack of trust in yourself almost.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just saying I think it's interesting. Because I don't know if that happens. Like, I just think it's like an interesting relationship to your reality and to yourself.
Yeah, totally. I think oftentimes too, you like make decisions based on who you are, not even like who you think you are, not even like what goals you want to achieve. Like I think identity probably has to do way more with like, where do I want to go? Yeah. But I don't like maybe it's more common with females than males probably. Yeah. Do you know a lot of females that like feel like they've made bad decisions besides myself and and like have recovered? Because I feel like when you say that, you're talking about guys mostly, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I think also that's true. Like that make like quote unquote, I would say that guys tend to be like, they don't overthink things as much.
Yes,
I don't overthink things, but women, if they do something wrong, it is a bigger deal for them.
Yes, totally.
And you can call that, like, wherever that comes from, say it's society, say it's internal, for sure. I think that, that's definitely more common in females.
It's kind of like the thing where, like, guys will apply to the job that, like, they think like they'll apply to any job even if the qualifications don't align, and women are like, well, hey, I don't align with these qualifications, so I'm not going to apply to the job.
Well, no, the exact thing,
it's the same concept.
Is like for econ majors, there's this thing where girls have to get an A in the entry level econ course to major in economics.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like not they have to get an A actually.
Oh.
But like internally, it's like I'm not going to major in economics unless I get an A in the prerequisite course. Where guys, if they get like a B- or above, they're like, oh yeah, I'm pretty proficient. Let's go.
No, exactly.
And it's exactly that thing. And I literally thought to myself, I was like, oh no, that was me. Yeah, like if I hadn't gotten an A in the first Econ 110 entry course, I would have never majored in economics because I'm like, well, clearly this isn't right for me.
Oh no, it's the same thing with like accounting.
Yes.
And me and getting an A in that class.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I majored in it because I was like, I got an A basically.
Yeah, no, actually. And it's like, and if I hadn't, I would have never.
No.
Majored in that.
Never.
Like I just would have not had that.
Never.
I don't know if like confidence is the right word, but it's so true. Because I think it's so interesting now. It's like, okay, like what makes decision making so difficult now? Because I think it's like there's a past aspect of you feel like you've made bad decisions, and bad is like, it's so interesting. I still think it's so fascinating what's classified as a bad decision versus a good decision, because you're the only one that makes a classification.
Yeah.
Because theoretically, like you're sitting here today and you're fine and you're alive, so everything up until this point you could say has been a good decision.
Yeah.
Like and it's also like, okay, well, if not everything's been a good decision, but like broad strokes, it's like you have done nothing that has knocked your life so far off course.
Yeah, I'm not in jail.
That you're like in jail or like wildly unhappy and like in mortal danger, you know? So it's like, wow, like how bad can it really be? Like you have no criminal record, you're a good person, you know? It's like, it's just such a mind trip that we classify things as bad decisions.
Yeah, but like how, like, I think it's just like all about framework. Like,
no, I agree.
It's like all about framework, because it's just like, well, like, have I made good decisions? What does it mean to make a good decision?
Like, I agree.
Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, like if I'm not a bad person, am I like contributing to society? Like, I don't know. Like, like, how do you even define good?
That's fascinating. How would you define it?
Well, how would you define it?
I think if it's, okay, in the moment is different than retroactively looking back, because I would say, like, for example, okay, here's a good example. I will never regret going to college and getting my degree, even if it's like obviously have the podcast, no need to have a degree. And it's like in 15 years, the podcast is like whatever, successful working, people would be like, oh, it's probably a bad decision that you went to college. It's a sunk cost. But I would say, no, that's an amazing decision because it brought me where I was today. So, and like same thing working at Deloitte, it's fun. Davis asked me, like, do you regret working there? And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, did it turn out how I thought it was or how I wanted it to? No, but it also was, I was able to like learn from it. And also I think it got rid of the shininess of that object, where it was like, yeah, no, this actually, corporate America isn't as glamorous as it seems. And so, yeah, it didn't turn out how I wanted to, but I actually am so stoked that I did that because I don't need to do it again. So I think it is all about frameworks, because in the moment I could have easily said, yeah, this is a bad decision. This is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like I should have chosen something else.
Yeah.
But also it's like, I don't know. I just don't think, I wouldn't classify it as bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no.
That's what I think.
So was it good?
I would say.
Like, that's what I'm asking. Because, it's not bad. Again, you're like a great person. Like, but like, was it a good decision? Was it good?
I don't know if it was the best decision I could have made.
I think that's probably what I'm getting at.
But
really.
I think it's a good decision. But like looking back at it, I don't regret it. And I think for me, honestly, if I don't regret it, then I like kind of classify it as a good decision.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, is it good? Okay, did it bring, I don't know, was it a good decision? Yes. Was it the best decision? Yeah. Probably not. Like if I could go and say what was the best thing I could have done, no, I wouldn't necessarily have said that's the best, but I would have said it was probably good.
I think that's probably I think that's what I'm getting at too, is like, no, none of the decisions, like I feel like none of the decisions are like bad, but like, do I feel like my decisions have been amazing? Like probably not. Like, or like the best decisions, like probably not.
Question, okay.
And this is like,
No, I think it's fascinating because I think your past informs your present. Like, I think it like forms your perception of like making current decisions so much.
Yeah, totally.
Like how you view your past decisions changes how you think you're going to make decisions in the future.
No,
like if you really classify yourself as like, it's what we said, where like if parents think that like say that their kids are good kids, there will be better kids. If you classify yourself as a bad decision maker, I think that like also leads you to making not worse decisions, but having a fear of making decisions because you just don't have confidence in making decisions.
No, I agree with that.
So I just think it's so fascinating. Okay, if it's a bad decision, like where do you go back and change things?
What do you mean if it's a bad decision?
So if you look back at a decision, like you say, okay, maybe taking the investment banking job was a bad decision.
I never said that was a bad decision.
Oh, it just didn't turn out how you wanted it to.
Yeah, it just didn't turn out how I wanted it to. So again, like I wouldn't say it's a bad decision, but like, is it like, do I regret it? No, I would say it's like the same thing as like your corporate Deloitte thing.
Interesting, but then why does it make you less confident in making decisions?
Well, I wouldn't say like that per se.
Okay,
is like a crux of it. Like that's like that's not like a terrible decision that I made.
Okay,
at all. And so, but like, I don't know. I think if like when you're unsatisfied with with how like some things have turned out in your life, then I think like you probably have that mask on. I feel like I am not like the worst decision maker ever, but like
I don't think you are either at all.
Yeah.
I'm just asking if you think you are about like where, because at the beginning I feel like you kind of like, oh, I don't think I'm like necessarily the best decision maker.
Yeah, I take a long time to make a decision, and it's hard for me to like feel really good about like going all in on something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why is that?
Well, I think that like moves back to like the commitment piece.
Okay.
It's like I think when you make a decision, ideally you want to be like feel like really, really good about it, but oftentimes decisions are like 51% versus like 49%.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know. I just feel like sometimes too, like a lack of making decisions. I feel like I like tend to just not make decisions because I don't want to commit to anything. I think that's the bottom line.
You don't want to commit.
Yeah.
And what makes you hesitant to commit?
because like I feel like sometimes the decision may be like a realistic one, but it's like not going to be like my happiest outcome. Like for example, work's like a good one, but like, oh, let's say I want to like take this job because like I need to provide for myself, for example. Yeah. But it's just like, but like, do I really like want to do X, Y thing? Like, no. So I think that's where like there's congruence and like, that part of life that makes it a little bit tricky.
So do you feel like a lot of it is there's like almost a push and pull between reality and what you want? Like being realistic versus what you want.
Yeah, well, and I think too, people are happy with different things. So like, would I be, for example, am I like completely fine if I'm just retired? Like, I'm not like someone who like needs to work all the time, kind of thing. Yeah. But like some people, I feel like they don't get like value out of that. But like in society, like you need to work to provide for yourself. So then you have like you have like conflicting things.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah. Where you have like conflicting priorities where it's like, okay, I don't want to, you have no job that you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're like, but I have to pay the bills every month.
Exactly.
So then that is what, in a scenario, makes you not want to commit.
Exactly.
Because you don't actually want what you would have to commit to.
Because I don't actually want what I would have to commit to.
And then flip side, you just don't have faith in the other decision.
Yeah, totally.
And like a more dreaming decision.
Exactly.
Interesting. So then you just don't decide.
Exactly.
And
then you just tend to like fall into things.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So I think that's why people don't make decisions.
Well, yeah, I think that's a reason why people don't make decisions. Because I think something that also is like, I used to feel like decisions were so final. Was a big thing for me.
Totally.
Where I felt like decisions felt very big and they felt very, final is the right word. Like things were written in stone and very concrete. And once I made decisions, I felt like I was making 10 more post decisions also. Yeah, that's true. The waterfall effect of my decisions felt so big. And like, for example, we like moved all over the place when we were first married, and each move, like when we moved to Charlotte, it felt like, oh my goodness, we are going to be here for a decade, and I'm going to be raising my kids here, and I'm going to just be on the other side of the country in a place that I don't frankly really want to be.
Yeah.
And so it felt very concrete. And then I realized, no, we just keep moving.
Yeah, you guys move all the time.
Then I realized nothing is concrete. I'm like, well, yeah, you can just like pick up and move and change. Mm-hmm. And so but I do think that was one thing for me where like decisions feel final, where it's like, okay, I can only decide on this once. And I think there are things that are like that, like marriage ideally is a final decision, and just like it closes off other options, making decisions.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, I remember one time when Dad and I were re-roofing the house, we were sitting on the roof, obviously, talking, and he was like, and I was like, I just feel like I can just do everything. He's like, no, you can do anything, you cannot do everything.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of advice.
You can do, like, he said, whatever you put your mind to, you can be excellent, you can be amazing. You cannot be excellent and amazing at everything. They're just like only so many hours of the day. And it's the same thing, like split focus is no focus. Like if you don't put everything somewhere, like when you split things 50-50, things leak in between. And so when you start splitting them between 5 things, you don't give 20% everywhere, you give 15 and 5% leaks out of your effort.
Yeah, totally.
And so I just think it's interesting, like there's opportunity cost to your decisions.
Oh yeah, always. I think that's also what's been terrifying.
Yeah, like
is terrifying.
You close other doors and not really thinking about, and like realizing that there are doors that are closed. Do you feel like, I have a scenario for you that I think is telling about people. So let's say back in the day, we're switching songs on the radio. Okay. We're listening to the radio.
Okay.
And you're like, you go through, there are all these really random stations, a couple talk shows, whatever, and you finally get to a song that's like a 6 out of 10. A song that's like, oh, okay, this is fine to have on in the background. Am I listening to it? Whatever. Do you keep changing the station, or are you listening to the song?
Are like, this is radios? So I can't choose the
so
song?
it's kind of like you have a slot machine of what comes up.
I think maybe I stay on it for a second, then I get bored, and then I move.
Interesting. That's fascinating, because I would say, I'm like pulling up all the previous conversations we have. Well, because I feel like it's interesting, because I feel like you're a person who like is not. Okay, like I remember, the song Satisfied in Hamilton?
Yes.
Where she's like really scared of never being satisfied.
Yes, totally.
I remember that like really struck a chord, because it was like, what if I get to the end of my life and I'm unsatisfied? Totally. And like my biggest fear used to be like, I get to the end of the life, I look back at my life and I just think, man, I did not do what I was supposed to be doing. Like there was so much more I could have done.
Yeah.
Do you think that also plays into it?
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, because your decisions drive like what is satisfaction or not.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to define satisfaction first, but then yeah, like your decisions make it or they break it.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like, okay, when I think it feels binary where it's like, okay, I either get to satisfaction or I don't, it's not like,
Yeah, I don't think, yeah, exactly.
I either get there or I don't get there.
Do you think it is
binary?
Defined? Yeah, no, do you think it's defined by decisions? Like whether you're satisfied or not?
Yeah, no, I think like the whole point is like, if all I have is decisions, I mean, I think there are some things that are out of your control. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's something I struggled with for a long time, was thinking that everything was out of my control. And so then I just became a floating piece in space that was to be controlled and not to control other things. But yeah, I mean, I think satisfaction is the interplay between your decisions and other people's around you decisions. But I think like ultimately I can get to the end of my life and be happy. I think like
No, I think you can too.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Like you can get to the end of your life and like not be satisfied. But I think that one thing I was thinking about, like that ties into this, is that if I'm happy with where I am, it's like none of the other opportunities or possibilities matter for me to entertain, which I think is a really hard thing. And because we have so much comparison nowadays,
yeah,
it is so hard to sit in something and say, you know what, I'm actually like satisfied. I'm actually happy, because it's always the next thing. It's always going to something else. And so I think it's really difficult to realize that you're happy and you're satisfied. And because then all the other options actually don't matter.
Yeah, I think when you have too many options, you get decision fatigue. And I think that's like a real thing.
No, I think so too.
Like to your point, like when our dad was like, well, you can do everything. You just can't, or like you can do anything, you just can't do everything. Well, it's harder when you realize that you like can do, or you think you can do everything, but then you only get to choose one.
Yeah, you have to choose in anything.
About decision making is it's like, well, actually, I only get one.
Yeah,
and whether that's like a husband or just what you spend your time in, like that's like literally that's like you only get to, you're only doing the one thing that you choose to do in every single moment.
Yeah. So what do you think, like this like actually is the question, like what do you think makes people better at making decisions? Like when I look at people and they're so decisive and they're so good at dealing with, like they don't have more information than I do. Like everyone who's made decisions, they have a certain percentage of certainty that's 51% and they're able to like move forward and just take it. Like what is that?
Well, I think there are people that are a little bit more risk averse or less risk averse, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely just like, okay, no, we're just going to like go and do it. And I think too, actually what's interesting is I think the more data you have, the harder it becomes to make a decision actually. Generally speaking, I think like the more data you have, you like understands kind of like more sides to every single coin. And so like, I think that makes like, obviously if it's a really big decision, like you want to think about things, but like, yeah, like knowing more doesn't make the decision easier, honestly. Like when you're making a decision, you kind of have a gut reaction, yes or no.
Yeah.
And that's just basically based off of old patterns that you've recognized and like you just automatically recognize it. But like, I don't know, I feel like more and more and more and more data, like, I don't know if that like makes you feel better all the time. Maybe not. I don't know.
And is that because you think that you already have a preconceived notion of what the decision should be based on your gut reaction?
Yeah, I think so.
And so you're just like, more data doesn't change your gut reaction and how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I think it depends what you're deciding, obviously. But, like, generally speaking, like, what % of the time do you decide something different than your gut reaction?
No, I agree. I'm saying I agree. But I'm just saying, like, the data doesn't matter because of your gut reaction.
Yeah, like, and not to say the data doesn't matter, but I'm saying like getting more and more and more and more data probably isn't going to change. Like, more data doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
The bottom line, and like, can you make sometimes a better informed decision? Yeah, sometimes, but sometimes you're like paralyzed because it's like, well, I know like there is some of this outcome that's going to be bad. Maybe not bad, but like there is some of this percentages of outcome that I'm feeling a hesitation towards. For one reason or the other.
Yeah.
And so I think you like really, it's almost like you understand that hesitation and can like play that out.
So you're saying like once you understand like fully the complexities, you understand the downside better is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
More data, like
and
more data regarding the downside.
Yeah.
That could be, and that's like, it's so easy to latch on to that potential.
I think so.
Yeah. And some people do, some people don't. I also think, I think for sure there's like a natural risk aversion piece that some people are just more cautious than others.
Yeah.
And I also think some people, I do think part of risk aversion, maybe, I could be wrong, but I think part of also the pie is some people just feel more confident in their ability to just ride the wave. And they're like, no matter what happens, I'm going to figure it out and be fine.
Yeah, true.
And I think for me, what's hard is sometimes I don't have that feeling.
Yeah.
Or what makes me, the feeling that gives me the ick is everything is going to be fine. Like, I know I'm going to be fine. I know I'm going to figure it out. But what that fine looks like is very different.
Yeah.
Because yes, I can be fine in so many different scenarios. And I've been fine in the depths of life when it's like, man, this is like the lowest I've ever been. I was fine. And like, I knew I was fine. And so I think what's difficult for me is like I can make a decision and then it'll end up fine. I'm like, yeah, but is it going to be great?
Yeah.
And like thinking that, oh yeah, everything's going to be fine, but is everything going to be amazing? Like I want it to be a 10.
Yeah.
And what if it ends up being a 6?
Exactly.
But I think some people have greater faith in their ability to make 10s.
Yeah, that's probably true, I think.
Like, because I just think I have a fear that I'm going to make a decision and it ends up a 6. And I think other people just say, well, I'm going to make this decision and then make it a 10. And they just have less hesitation.
I think some people are like naturally more optimistic.
Yeah.
So then what do you do if you're
Well, no, I'm not even saying they're optimistic. I'm saying like they have a greater confidence in themselves to create a 10. And I'm saying I think I have less confidence in myself to create a 10.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know why people are like that. I think just some people have, I mean, I think like it's like a nature versus nurture. I don't know if it's intrinsic to them or if they've had like teachings or they've had life experiences that makes them believe that way. But yeah, no, I just think that some people like, it's something you mentioned in the video. Some people believe the earth to be more or like life and this experience that is a social construct we've created to be more malleable than others.
Yeah, it's true. Like
he's like, so much like a predeterminant of success is how malleable people think the world around them is versus others who believe it's less malleable to their will and to what they think.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there are some people I know where I'm like, they just always figure it out.
Like who?
Like,
it's
like, oh, he's always going to be fine.
Yeah.
Not even fine, but it's like, you know, he's always going to figure it out. Like, I'm like, you know, he always ends up on top somehow. He figures out every single time and he makes it happen. And that's some energy I'm trying to channel.
Yeah, he does have some good energy. I have to give him that.
Yeah, like, I have to give him his flowers. He, like, always is somehow, like, making that happen.
Is there anyone else that you know like that?
I'm sure there are. Like, I'm trying to think of everyone I know. I think it's very uncommon.
Yeah.
I would say. Because I think that's part of what makes them uncommon is having that trait.
Yeah.
And that belief.
Interesting. I think it's huge. Totally.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's...
And probably you're willing to bet on yourself, I think, more than anyone else.
Oh,
and I think that's what's hard is sometimes when you make a decision you don't like, you probably don't bet on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you're less likely to bet on yourself. Yeah. We'll say once something goes sideways, go ahead.
What was the last big decision that you made?
I could say probably like quitting my job was a big one. Starting our business was a big one. I mean, like we put so much money into it. So yeah, that was like a big decision, I would say. What's the last big decision you made?
That is a big one. I don't know when the last big decision I made. Signing my lease.
It's month to month.
That was a big decision. No, we signed for 6 months.
Oh, you signed for 6 months?
I'm locked in.
That's good.
Till July.
Wow, that is your last big decision.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I'm in kind of a decision-making mode right now.
Yeah.
So probably this would be my next decision.
That's your next decision.
Yeah.
That is like a very interesting question because you're like, if you haven't probably made like any real decision in the last 5 years, maybe that's an indicator that it's time to take some big swings.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Do you want,
No, keep going. You can keep going.
I was just going to say something that I think for a while also gave me, I don't know if decision fatigue, paralysis, whatever, was when I got paralyzed. One like paradigm shift that I had that I actually didn't like from it. There are a lot of things that I feel like I learned and changed my paradigm on with it.
Yeah.
But I think one of the long-term things was feeling like so much is out of your control because it was like, well, tomorrow I can wake up paralyzed. Yeah. And I think for a time that was freeing because it was like, so go do something big, like follow your dreams. But then I think I got to a place where it was nothing is in my control. So then what am I even making decisions about and making plans for? Because I could get derailed in an instant by something like that. And like the randomness of it was overwhelming. So it was like, well, why would I make plans if I feel like they're just going to get derailed? And I don't think that's a good mindset to have.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, no, I think it's useless.
At what point were you able to switch that around?
I would say it was a few years ago when I just decided, I think I just had to like realize it. Cause I think I would generally say I'm like a positive person.
Yeah.
And then I think I just like more than anything recognized it in myself and was like, man, I'm not hoping for anything. Like I'm just kind of going through. And it was like, I don't have, not that I didn't have, but there are just certain things that I was like, man, I just am not like taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and really making something, like making out of this what I want to make. And like really deciding what do I want? Like shoot my shot, like call my shot and go after it.
Yeah.
And I think that's harder to do. And I think also there's a fear of failure that plays into that as well.
Do you think you're a good decision maker?
I would say I've gotten better at making decisions.
Well, how come?
I think I just...
that same thing?
No, I think, like, yes, I also think it's like, okay, being decisive is the only way I'm going to get anything. Like, if I don't decide on things, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, totally.
Like if I want to change, like nothing, so like it's like I just have to start deciding on things. And I think Davis is I'm not as good at dealing with ambiguity as Davis is.
Yeah.
So I'd actually say Davis has helped me a ton, where he's like, you just gotta go. Yeah. He's like, if you're not doing anything, because one thing that I struggle with is like sitting in the analysis phase.
I know.
And feeling like totally I'm analyzing, and Davis is just like, so you aren't doing anything. Yeah. And I'd like to, and in a very lovingly kind way, and like I need to hear that, where sometimes it's just, so you think you're analyzing, but really you're kicking this can down the road.
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing where you can't steer a parked car. Concept.
Exactly. And so it's like, hey, well, you're not doing anything, so you just have to go. So, and I think he's a lot better at doing that than I am. So I think I've gotten better. So I think he's helped me, like rubbed off on me in that way, where just realizing, man, I'm not doing anything if I'm not deciding.
Why do you think it is that some decisions are easier than others? Like, how come there are some decisions where you're like, no, I know this is the right thing. Yeah. And then other ones, it's like, oh my gosh, I am like spinning around in circles trying to figure out which thing to decide. I don't know which one's right. Yeah. And it's like, you make a decision, and sometimes it's just like, I don't necessarily feel good about this, but like you just have to do it. Yeah, you're like, it was like, hey, well, I had to make a decision. I had no feeling which way or the other, and I just chose one basically out of a hat. Exactly. I have no idea why that is. And it is so annoying. It's so annoying. Because it also does not correlate with the importance of the decision. No. Like, you can have a super, like, are you like a very impactful decision and be like, well, I feel like I'm just out here on my own and picking one out of a hat, and this is like a big decision, and I would like to feel one way or the other, and I don't really. Totally. I have no idea. Because, I mean, you could argue sometimes it's the universe telling you one decision is, like, things are important versus not, but it's like, no, this is very clearly an important decision. Yeah, totally. Like, this is very clearly something that's going to have an impact on my life. And I have no idea why sometimes you feel a pull. And I don't know why some people I know, they have a pull for every decision they make. Like, they're like, yes, the Holy Spirit told me. No, they have so much intuition. Like, I just wish I had that, like, they're like, I felt so strongly. And I'm like, I feel strongly like about 1 in 1,000 decisions. Yeah, totally. Where I feel like really strongly, really like vision, whatever. And yeah, and some people like feel so guided from the beyond. But it's funny though, because even those people, like, sometimes I feel like things don't necessarily end up better for them, but they still keep making decisions. No. And they find meaning somehow. But they still find meaning all of the previous decisions they've made. They're like, you know, it just didn't turn out how I wanted to, but like I met this X person. You're or like, something but like it was supposed to be that way. And I'm like, are we sure? I don't know. No, it is. What's totally the thing where you're like, life didn't turn out how I wanted it to, and it's going to be better. And sometimes I'm like, are you underestimating my imagination? No, I think that's what's hard is like, yes. No, like for me, like when you asked if I'm bad at making decisions, it's like, well, are my decisions bad? But like, you have no idea what my ceiling is also. It's like, I'm here and like, am I down here? No, but like. Well, it's like, well, I'm not in a 10,000 square foot mansion right now. Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, we're bootstrapping a podcast from my living room. Like, okay. Exactly. Yeah, and so it's like, I'm happy, and so yeah, everything's led me here, but also, yeah, it's like the good, better, best. And it's also best. Like what, yeah, that's where you get into like the nuance of that is like so difficult. But yeah, no, it's like, don't underestimate that's why I've tried to adopt everything's going to be amazing as my catchphrase. That's a good catchphrase. Because I had a really hard time with everything's going to be okay. Because yeah, okay is such a downer. No, it's like, it's going to be okay. I'm like, I know it's going to be okay. Like, but I don't want okay. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. Is like, I don't want lackluster or mediocrity or any of the above. Like, never has my dream been, I'm going to be okay. No. And I mean, sometimes when you're in the depths, you're going to be okay. But I feel like I've always thought I will be fine. Oh, it will be okay. For sure. There are some things that make me feel like that would not be okay. But anyways. So, no, I think it's so fascinating. Oh, and this is like a very different thing that I've been thinking about. And that is even being more decisive in the way that I speak. I agree with you because I say like maybe too much. Yeah, like being more decisive. And you could argue it's opinionated, but I think it's also being like decisive in your language. What do you mean by that? Well, okay, I was texting Jacqueline earlier this week. Uh-huh.
And because she made a loaf of sourdough I gave her some starter. She's making a loaf of sourdough. She sent me a picture of it. And I was like, I wasn't sure. She sent me a picture and I wasn't sure how she felt about it because she didn't send a caption like, oh, this looks great, or like, oh, this didn't turn out. So I was unclear how she felt about it.
Yeah.
So I was responding and I was like, wait, like, I feel like that looks good. And then I literally deleted it and was like, no, I think that looks good. Like, I think this looks great. And because it's so interesting how I catch myself being like, wait, like, I feel like this is like this. And it's always, not always. Sometimes I actually don't care. And like, I'm not very opinionated. So I'm like, oh, I feel like it's fine. I don't really know. I don't really care. But sometimes it is actually like, no, I actually think this is great.
Yeah.
But there's like a desire to have a homogenous opinion, or there's a desire to not be too opinionated, such that you soften your own language to be, oh, I feel like it's like this, when it's like, no, I think that it's great. Oh no, I think that this is this, I want to do this, we should do this. Versus being like, wait, I feel like maybe this is the way that we like, you know, like offering it up as a question versus as an opinion.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't know if we grew up like that or not, because I feel like I have the same exact thing where like I just kind of want to be agreeable and I don't want to ruffle really anyone's feathers, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And yeah, like if someone asks me like, what do you think of like this house design? I'm like, sometimes I just don't even know. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say there's like a 50% where it's I don't actually care, but and so I use
even when I don't know, I'm like, you know, I don't really know. Like I don't know enough about this to really have an opinion. But I was just being like, I feel like it's good because it's just like so meaningless. And then and then it's like I feel like everything, especially when it's people I don't know. I know even if people I do know.
Yeah,
because it's just like I don't want to offend them if I have a different opinion than them.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
It's so interesting how there is like such a desire to have a homogenous opinion with other people.
I know, it's a huge
and some people are like don't care.
No, I want to not care as much.
Yes, like I would love to just be like, yeah, this is my opinion. And also I think it's like, and it doesn't matter if you have a different one.
Well, and I think too, it's almost getting back to the decisive thing is like, no, I just need to have an opinion on something.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, no, maybe I need to be like, no, I like this, or like, actually, I don't like this.
Yeah. Well, because like sometimes I get like self-conscious about it because like you do like we do want to be likable people. Totally. It is normal to want to be a likable person. Yeah. And so sometimes also there's like a desire to be a likable person and trying to make yourself likable in a healthy, and I think it can become unhealthy, but
lost the pillow.
But overall, like I think it's a normal human trait.
And obviously I think there's a right place and a right time to do things.
Yeah, right? For sure.
So if someone's not asking for my opinion, I do this wrong actually. If someone's not asking for my opinion, I will just give it sometimes. When they're not asking for it.
Yes, like obviously.
So sometimes I do that wrong correctly.
And like obviously sometimes like you can kind of post things as questions to just see how someone else is thinking. And like I think there are social nuances that like let's be clear here. But then there are clear times when
I've asked point blank, what do I think? And I'm like, nothing.
Yes, or I'm actively unwilling to, like, we'll be working on something and we'll actively be like, I don't know, what do you think? Like, what are you doing? When it's like, no, we have opinions, like, just, like, let's cut to the chase, let's cut through it.
Totally.
And so sometimes when I hear myself being opinionated, I cringe and I get nervous.
Oh, really?
That I'm going to offend other people.
See, I don't even think you're like, I feel like you have this like facade in your mind that you think you're
fake.
Opinionated.
I agree.
Like, I don't think you're opinionated at all.
No, I don't think I am either. Like in reality, like if I look at it objectively, I'm like, no, I'm never saying anything to anyone.
I think you need to ruffle some more feathers.
No, I am never trying to get in the weeds or give anyone my opinion. I'm always trying to stay out.
Yeah.
Always trying to stay out.
I think you should.
No, I think so too. Because what I saw was like, it's better to have someone love you for exactly who you are than like you for who this non-agent that like this being that you are. That's, you know, like, you can be likable, but you're not lovable. So she's like, it's better to have a cult following than to have a bunch of people not really have an opinion about you.
And I think that's what's part of like growing up and learning who you are is like actually what you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's, I agree with you though. It's way better to have a cult following.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, and part of growing up is like creating strong opinions.
Right.
But I know strong opinions loosely held. Like, yeah, I can change on a dime, but I have opinion. But yeah, I'm never opining on things actively.
What do you mean?
I am never getting in the weeds.
Like, give me an example. Like with politics?
No. Well, yes, with politics. Like if someone asks me, I'm like, I'm not getting it. I don't have a strong opinion on a lot of things. Whatever.
See, you just did it right now.
No, because I'm like, I don't have a strong opinion on politics, and politics are so hot button, and I don't care enough that I'm just like, get me out.
It's so true.
Like, I do not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
No.
And no, but I'm just saying, like, to my point, where I feel like I have this like mental perception of myself of like, oh, I'm scared of being blunt.
Yes, you do have this mental perception.
I'm so scared.
I don't know why you're so scared of being blunt. And then, the most fun people are just blunt.
Well, no, and then I'm realizing like I actually do not tell it. I'm never like, if some like people like see other people having a conversation and have a desire to pipe in.
Yeah,
I have no desire to pipe in and get into that.
I will say our mom is always piping in.
Yeah, she's always piping in.
Yeah, and so I think that's a really good quality she has. Actually,
she's a great piper. Whereas I am. Ironic, her maiden name is Piper, which is why I just giggled. No, and so yeah, like if people are having conversations, I am not getting in there. No. I'm not duking out. I'm not battling.
No, I'm not. I am on the sidelines, just like,
yes,
what's going on?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like though, like I don't know enough.
Absolutely, and I think it's smart to know the places that you should not be.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't like. I want to engage here, but like I feel like I'm going to make a dumb comment.
No, and those are not the situations in which I'm talking about.
Like a political question.
Yes, like a political question. Again, it's just like man, there are like 10 layers that I am not aware of, or no, like just not my place. But man, like pop culture, I'm like, get me in the weeds.
Oh yeah, I love being in the weeds in pop culture.
It's so funny. But man, so we're working on decisive language.
We are.
Being more decisive, having strong opinions. It's powerful. But
I think becoming aware that like maybe I'm not the most decisive person, then I think you can choose to be decisive.
Absolutely.
Like I think awareness is like 80% of the battle.
No, for sure.
Okay, no, if you want to change something, like you actually can, which I think is very empowering.
No, I think for sure. Well, and I think it's just like, okay, I have to start jumping off the cliff a little bit.
Yeah, totally. It's like, okay, I just need to go for stuff.
Yeah. It's like I just have to start going and doing and being half-baked. And I think also part of it is like a perfectionism thing also, where it's like, okay, when I go, I want it to look like this. When it's like, you got to fall off the cliff, get a couple bruises, and then you'll start walking, and then you'll jog, and then you'll run.
Exactly.
Like, you cannot get off the cliff running.
It's hard.
You will fall.
I will say it's hard with social media though, because like with comparison and everything going on there, it does seem like everyone like gracefully floats off the cliff into like the lake.
Oh, absolutely.
The perfect entry.
They're Glinda the Good in their bubble.
Exactly.
Landing in front of you and just,
Exactly. So I think that's what's hard is like, I don't know. It feels like that's how it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it feels like I'm showing up to the party bloodied and bruised and everyone's in black tie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, I have a black eye.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, for sure. You're like, wait, this was such a graceful entrance to everything.
To doing your thing.
Yeah, I mean, even it's like, okay, look at Alex Hormozy starting his business, and he's super rich now, and so we're seeing the end.
Yeah.
And he tells the story of Gym Launch or whatever it was called, and he was like, my partner stole the $40,000 and I was nothing, and we had nothing, and whatever.
Yeah.
And I do not doubt that was a very tumultuous time.
I'm sure it was.
But it's hard when we're not seeing that.
No, we see.
It's a great story.
I'm like getting the ads for school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I pay Alex $2,000 to join this? I don't know.
I know, to join his thing. Like I'm seeing the end result. I'm not seeing the journey.
Videos are like professionally made in like a dark, black room with perfect lighting.
Oh, absolutely. They're like perfectly
and so you're like,
curated.
so basically it's like, how am I supposed to become Alex Hormozy if I have none of these tools that I feel like he has?
Yes.
But to your point, you just have to get dirty.
Yeah. Like
down and dirty.
Well, and what I'm saying is it's hard when their past is a story and not a reality. Yeah, it's like totally. Not what I'm like. That just feels so distant from who I'm seeing on the screen, and who I'm comparing myself to is not that Alex. It's this one.
Yeah,
it's this Layla.
Billionaire Alex.
It's this influencer, whomever.
Yeah. Very true.
It's so true. It's really difficult.
But
and
girls
what they struggle with it more, and I need the females to rise up.
Yeah, no, I think females struggle with this way more than men.
I think so too, and it makes me so sad.
Yeah, I totally think so. But I was going to say, like, the reality though is like, if you if you're hesitant to start something or haven't started something, it's like the first step just isn't small enough.
Yeah.
It's not easy enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, but back to your point. No, I fear that females struggle with this way more than men.
Yeah.
Like way more.
Way more. And I think I do think indecision takes away so much of your power.
Yeah. I feel like what's hard, to your point, I just feel like we spend time thinking about things rather than doing. And
Absolutely.
I think guys are so much better at just doing. Mm-hmm. And that's what, like, you just have to eventually just force yourself to do is start doing.
Like, I think also, like, we have more of a desire to look good on the process when guys are like, oh yeah, it's a little rough and tumble.
You're like, just ship it up, ship it off to the people.
Literally, like they're rough and tumble, and I'm like, okay, no, we need to get these carefully calculated steps, and I think that's good. Totally. But I think it's so easy to swing way too far and be like, no, you got to make a couple shuffles, a couple stumbles on the way.
Yeah,
like then you're not going fast enough.
Totally.
But yeah, I think it's so crazy realizing indecision is just hurting you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually sabotaging myself in my future by not deciding.
Yeah, it's just so true, because it's just like, if you don't put all your eggs in one basket, eventually just don't have any eggs.
Yeah.
I said that the other one. But, like, you eventually, like, you just have to decide.
That's all it is. That's like literally the only thing you have control over.
Yeah, it's the only thing you have control over, which is why it's probably one of the hardest things sometimes to do.
Which is what makes it feel so big.
Yes,
it's like,
exactly.
This is the only, if it feels like it's the only thing you have, you're like, oh, I have this precious gift. I can't give it away willy-nilly.
I think that's what makes it so hard sometimes to make decisions.
Yeah.
Is it's just like,
all the decisions feel big.
They all feel huge.
And determinant. And when it's like, I'm so aware that my actions have consequences that I have to, like, when I'm making a decision, I'm accepting certain consequences. Yeah. It's so hard. Well, I just want to know, I want to end this by saying, I think you're an amazing, like, I have such faith, and I don't think you're a bad decision maker.
I think you're a great decision maker too.
Like, I think you're a great, like, all, like, the decisions, I think you arrive to the right decisions. And I think that, I have a lot of faith in your decision-making power.
Thank you.
And I think you're very powerful. I think you're more powerful than you know.
Right back at you.
I know, I'm not saying that tritely.
I know, I'm not saying that tritely either.
No, I know. Okay, anyways, thanks you guys for listening. We love you. You're amazing. And we will see you next time. Bye.